Minori Rokujou, the human meteorite from the series Maken-Ki, which before I get into more of specifics of this character, just know the series is very lewd. It's like it starts out pretty bland, and then after like the first arc, I think it picks up pretty well as some pretty good characters, pretty competent villain, and a lot of good action. Surprisingly enough, once the harem main character's like, I need to stop being so weak, which happens pretty early on, surprisingly enough. And yeah, if you want to check out. Don't bother with the anime. The anime just does fan service like school guy stuff, and it's but the manga has more and is better. But anyway, this character, she's the principal of Tenby, the leader of the school that the main characters in kind of all go to. She's pretty badass, but she's also very nice, friendly, and playful character. Let's kind of get into her stats and such because they're surprisingly pretty comfortable to explain, pretty easy. When it comes to like her destruction level and durability, they're both about city level. Both should be pretty good. There's potential for her to exceed that, but from where the chapters are at available to me online, I think it's up to 108 now. That just seems where she's at. She doesn't seem to be that kind of like last tier group that a lot of like the big shots are in. She's like right below that. No hacks resistance, but she does have a weakness to octopuses. She doesn't like octopuses. Just like something that resembles them could make her like extremely nervous and shaky, and actually seeing a real one will make her pass out. And then when it comes to the notable skills and traits, she has attack she can lay out and detonate, which is pretty cool. But let's get to some of the some of the character itself, some of the more bits that really to talk about when it comes to like her moves and whatnot. So kind of just based off of pure scaling, you see like even though the character itself, the Haruko, one of the girls that goes to school, is one of these like extremely powerful items, Maken, like one of the original ones, and it's got extremely high attack power, but other characters in lesser states have survived at least one slash from it and kept fighting. So Minori should be at least able to do one and keep going, especially some of the stuff that she kind of goes through later with some of the characters. And you see just like some more devastation. Like she can also like she's been able to cut mountains in half with it the sword and note that Minori should be able to be kind of scaled from, as as well as people that she was training. The main character Takaru able to lift up like this giant spiked iron ball, probably weighing uh probably a couple hundred tons, just based off of the sheer size and thickness of just just massive iron ball. Like nothing really to really kind of complicate things with it. But also when it comes to kind of like something she's actually displayed and not just where she should be by default, is you get one of the villains, kind of like the main villain as he was at one point, able to split an ocean all the way to an island like several miles by yelling at it, just like the sheer power of his voice. And it though it the width of it isn't too huge, it's very long, and it held that way long enough that normal humans could run across it. So that complete application of continuous force over time, especially, just is completely outrageous. Real crazy. And you see actually her able to take that same attack later, the exact same one, after like meat shielding somebody jumping in front of an attack to protect them. And it only really kind of like she just kind of shakes it off at one point. She's like, whatever, didn't do too much, and then does it again a second time, but more like as a direct kind of shield, like just to block stuff. And all it does is kind of like burn her back a little bit. But for the most part, she's fine. She's able to keep fighting. That was just the start of the fight. She was pretty much good after that. But then you also see like power level wise come from her. Like without her weapon, these things called Maken, she was able to hit somebody, that same character, that same powerful guy who split that ocean, and create this massive hole within this cliffside. Pretty impressive, and that's without her weapon. Her weapon called her Maken Dragon Ace, which is just like it's like an all around power upgrade, but also adds some skill to it. It's kind of like what I was talking about. She can kind of like make a little thermal pocket and then spark it to ignite it with her power to create like these explosions. And once she does that, she's able to do stuff like make normal ones or kind of like focus them into like big beam attacks like giant blasts. Who the guy she was fighting she would have beaten if it wasn't for his ability to recover by eating souls. So she was definitely within that range, just like within close to his equal at that point. Obviously, the big deciding factor being that he was able to recover in the fight and then get stronger. She's a pretty interesting character, pretty fun one. Like I said, not too complicated. Doesn't have like some really hard to follow plot around her. She's got a little side series. It was about 3 chapters long, just about like her forming her own team back when she was in high school. She's pretty fun character. Like I said, pretty interesting, pretty both badass, like straight power upgrade, but also some complication to her weapon, which is nice, and very simplistic yet cool design. So that's gonna be it for this one. Tell me in the comments what you think about this character, and look forward to the next Clash profile. That's gonna be it for this one. So comment below, thumbs up, like the video, subscribe for more of these things. I know people like the whole versus stuff, and we're gonna be getting into some more of them soon. Is I'm gonna record some more. I'm gonna try and get a couple more, and then I gotta do the last match that I was supposed to do already, and then we could work our way towards doing a lot more of them, and it'd be a lot more fun. But otherwise, thank you very much for those who already subscribed and those who listened through this video. Bye.